Good morning, friends. It is about 6:30 a.m., earlier than I normally like to be awake, but we went to sleep so early last night that I feel like I got a great night's sleep, and I'm able to get up early and just kind of walk through the streets of Paris, see what early morning Parisian life is like. Sherry is still asleep for a little while. This morning we're going to get up kind of early. I'll get her up in a little while, and we're actually going to the Louvre. I probably should have grabbed my coat before I left the hotel. It's pretty chilly out here. You see a lot of people almost like in winter coats. I'm just in short sleeve, of course. I don't want to brag, but I'm getting pretty good with my French. For example, I know that La Petite Journal is French for the Petite Journal. Yeah, I'm getting pretty good at this whole Frenchy thing. I just passed a Starbucks that is not open at 7 a.m. It feels like prime coffee selling time to me. What do I know? And that's officially the first Burger King I've seen in Paris. So that was a huge success. I got croissant, I got a Nutella muffin, I got me a fresh squeezed orange juice, but most importantly, I got Sherry, for the first time this trip, a big coffee. You guys know how much Sherry loves coffee, and she's been having to have these kind of tiny French coffees. I found a place that served a large cafe au lait. She is gonna be pretty happy to wake up to that. Well, she's not gonna be happy to wake up, but if she has to wake up early, a big coffee is the way to do it. I'm not gonna lie, a nice brisk 1 mile walk in the morning, that's a pretty great way to wake up. There's some kind of a TV crew or film crew filming right here outside of our hotel this morning. We have arrived at the Musée du Louvre. It's pretty fascinating to me that school children here get to go on field trips to the Louvre. Yeah, that's a little bit cooler than the field trips I got to go on. We are walking into the courtyard, and there are the famous glass pyramids of the Louvre. Just the outside courtyard is spectacular. I can't wait to get inside. So we just entered the Louvre. Here we are inside the famous glass pyramid. You can see all the buildings of the Louvre out there.
So we are heading into the first pavilion of the Louvre. We're gonna go see the Mona Lisa, because obviously, and we're gonna see a whole bunch of other stuff.
So we are walking to where we will see the Mona Lisa. But everywhere you look in this museum is just absolutely spectacular. She is this way. You can always tell which way the Mona Lisa is. Just follow the hordes of people. And up there at the top of the stairs, you can see Winged Victory, one of the more famous works here. Let's go closer and show you. So here's a closer view of Winged Victory. This is actually a marble sculpture of Nike, who was the Greek goddess of victory. Really cool to see. Such an iconic piece of the Louvre. This was made sometime around 200 or 190 BC. That's crazy. Entering one of the huge halls here at the Louvre. I appreciate it for the art, but I think we can all agree that is not an attractive baby. So we just entered the room where Mona Lisa is, and there is the Mona Lisa, the most famous, most expensive painting in the world. That is amazing to see in person. So one of the most spectacular things about the Mona Lisa is that the price of this painting is so high that the Louvre actually has stopped insuring it. And instead they've taken that money and they put it towards security to protect the painting. There's been acid thrown at this painting. It was once stolen. People have tried to spray paint it. Rocks have been thrown at it. So the Louvre has decided to invest in security rather than insure it. And I'll also say that people talk about how small it is. I actually don't think it's that small. It just feels like a normal sized painting. I will say I'm really glad we got here early, because you'll see this. I mean, we were able to walk almost right up to the front of it. Like here's Sherry right there. So awesome. And you'll see the room that it's in. If you look around, Like there's the wedding at Cana, takes up the entire back wall, just spectacular. I feel like I've used the word spectacular a million times. You're gonna have to forgive me, but I'm kind of running out of amazing descriptive words to describe Paris. One of the most amazing things about the Louvre, apart from the art, is just how huge it is. The scale is amazing. And then you remember that this was built as a palace, so people lived here. That's genuinely unbelievable. Here's a French Revolution painting. Beautiful.
So here we are outside. You can see the little courtyard here, pyramids. And this building just keeps going.
Cool goatee, buddy.
And down here is what I'm guessing probably used to be the original like main entrance to the palace. Can you just imagine, you know, horse-drawn carriages pulling up there? It's so cool.
So one of the other things we really wanted to see here at the Louvre are the decorative art spaces. This is where they recreate the living spaces. Look at how opulent and ornate this entire room is. Sherry, is this where you want to live? What you doing?
Looking outside, so there's like a little courtyard out here.
Oh yeah. And there's the Venus de Milo, along with the Mona Lisa and Winged Victory, probably one of the 3 most famous pieces here at the Louvre. This looks like a very fancy version of one of those things you stand behind and then put your head and arms through and take funny photos. I don't think the Louvre would appreciate that. So Sherry, initial thoughts on the Louvre?
It's pretty amazing. It's huge.
I can't even imagine how long it would take to go through and see everything and all the rooms. Like we're going through and kind of hitting the highlights and seeing some of the things that we want to see, but to really take your time and like look at all the pieces, when they say when they say that like you could spend a week here, I really believe it. And as we prepare to leave the Louvre, one of the last things we're seeing here is the famous inverted pyramid. See the glass pyramid coming down. One thing I did not know though, as you exit, there's all sorts of shops, like the Apple Store. How random is that? Now we are back outside here. You can see up there the pyramid where we entered. That was amazing. All right, attempt to go to the Opera House, take 3. I think this is gonna be our time, Sherry.
Oh.
So we're actually here a couple hours early. We're gonna try to get tickets for the English tour at 2:30 and then go grab lunch. Fingers crossed this is actually gonna work. So I will say our lunch does not have a bad view. We're sitting out here on the street, right across from the Opera House. Not too shabby. So at dinner the other night, I fell in love with duck breast and peppercorn sauce. So for lunch today, it's what I ordered again. Came with a side of potatoes. Sherry went with like a chicken burger. Look at how good that looks.
This is like the cutest little spoon ever.
So we were walking around killing time before we have to go to the Opera House, and we found a Lindt chocolate store. I got an iced chocolate with coffee.
White chocolate.
Yeah, with white chocolate. And Sherry got a cafe au lait, but they did give her a chocolate spoon to stir it with. I didn't know iced chocolate was a thing. Here we go. It's delicious.
Look how cool this little spoon is. It's completely made out of chocolate.
You gonna stir your coffee with it?
Yes, I am.
Or are you just gonna eat it?
I'm gonna stir my coffee.
Quand il me prend dans ses pas, il me parle tu vas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit d'amour, d'amour de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. Il est dans mon cœur, n'est pas de bonheur dont je la cause. C'est lui pour moi, moi pour lui dans la vie. Il me l'a dit, la journée pour la vie. Dès que je l'aperçois, alors je sens en moi mon cœur.
This is the view right outside of the Opera House. So Phantom of the Opera actually based here on the Opera House in Paris. And this is box number 5 where he always snuck into, that was reserved for him to watch Christine. Super awesome. So one of the things that they told us here on the tour that's just amazing, if you look, this is the entrance and it is just absolutely grand and spectacular, is that when this was built, it actually, the focus wasn't about going in and seeing the show. The focus was about being seen going to the show. And so people would walk into this main grand hallway as kind of the middle class commoners gathered around and clapped for you as you came in. And in the auditorium, the seats on the side were actually where the wealthy would sit. Not because they had a great view of the show, but because everyone could see you there. And so really everything about this building wasn't about the experience of the show, it was about being seen. It's very fascinating. I mean, it is a beautiful building. One of the highlights for sure.
So the boxes that these wealthy people would sit in, they'd come in through this huge grand staircase and go to their own private box that were she said about the equivalent of about 20,000 euro a year, which is crazy. And they could decorate them. Like they'd be season pass holders for a year, and you could basically set it up like your own living room with portraits and your own furniture, and just kind of make it this comfy place for you to just come and be seen. And they would come, they had shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they would come those 3 times a week, every week. And the shows would run for about a month, and so they would come 3 times a week for a month for the same show, not because they wanted to see the show, but because they wanted to be seen 3 times a week going to the show.
You know you're at a good gift shop at the Paris Opera when these are the kind of things they sell, like dresses and tuxedos and all sorts of fancy stuff. Well, it might have taken us 3 tries to get it right, but I am so glad we did the Opera House.
So worth it.
A highlight of the trip for sure. If you're in Paris, like honestly, I would put this like A level with like Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame.
Do the guided tour, not the self-tour.
Do the guided, I don't know how the self-tour was, but the guided tour was amazing. That was awesome. So we just left the Opera House and we hopped in an Uber, and now we are heading to a wine tasting event. I've been looking forward to this basically the whole trip. It's like an hour-long self-guided wine tour. There's a sommelier there to answer questions, and then when we leave, we get a free bottle of wine to take with us. Let's go drink some wine. This looks like us. Let's go in. So this cellar was built in order to hold the wine for the King of France that would be transported easily to the Louvre. We're only a couple blocks away from the Louvre.
And there's a tunnel directly to
And there's a tunnel directly to the Louvre, so the wine could be taken directly there. I will say one thing, this is one of the coolest looking wineries I have ever been in. Plus we're like down below the ground in these caves, and it's super cool down here, nice and refreshing. Holy cow, I think I want one of those. Whoa, this room is like selfie central. Got like a whole display of wine bottle labels. That's actually pretty cool. There's one from 1957. So these are the 3 wines that we are trying. We just had the Vin Blanc, which is Loire Valley. Absolutely delicious. Sauvignon Blanc 2015. That was great. Sherry, you liked that one a lot, didn't you?
I really did.
It's gone. Mine is not quite gone. So we ended up buying 2 bottles of wine. We bought the sweet white that Sherry had at the end and the red that I had at the end. Those were, I think, were our 2 favorites. Yep. So we're walking around a neighborhood kind of close to our hotel. We've actually been walking for a little ways though. It's not very touristy at all, which is great. It's one of the things we love about the area our hotel is that just a couple blocks away, it's just normal Parisian neighborhoods. So I do have to say, Sherry, I'm getting a little spoiled, all this like street side eating in Parisian cafes. When we go home and eat cornflakes in our living room, it's just not going to be the same.
Not quite the same.
Not quite the same. Maybe we could open the windows in our living room so it feels like we're outside, maybe? Dinner has arrived. I went with something I had never had before, the cassoulet. It has andouille sausage, it has duck confit, white beans. That looks amazing. Sherry went to the neighbors to the north, I guess, northwest kind of, with traditional British fish and chips. That actually looks really good. All right, friends, so I think that is going to end today's vlog.
Yep, I just got out of the shower. He's about to get in. And then I think we're gonna go to bed because where are we going tomorrow?
Disneyland Paris.
You guys are so excited.
Oh my gosh, so excited about this. We still don't know really how to work the train system to get out there. We'll figure it out in the morning. We did stop at a little boulangerie on our way home after dinner and picked up just 2 words. I'm gonna put them together. Ready to have your mind blown? Nutella beignets. Yeah, we're gonna lay in bed and that's gonna happen, and then we're going to sleep because tomorrow we got a date with a mouse. Yay. A Parisian mouse.
Parisian mouse.
Le mouse is how they might not say that.
I don't know.
Good night, you guys. Thanks again for joining us. We will see you on the next vlog.
Yay.